Torchlight Energy Resources stock upgraded from hold accumulate to buy candidate after Tuesday trading session. Updated on February 9, 2021, buy or hold candidate since 2011 to 18 gained 451.72%. The Torchlight Energy Resources stock price gained 4.58% on the last trading day, Tuesday, 9 February 2021, rising from $1.53 to $1.60. During the day the stock fluctuated 6.54% from a day low at $1.53 to a day high of $1.63. The price has fallen in 5 of the last 10 days and is down by -16.23% for this period. Volume fell on the last day by -32 million shares, and in total, 13 million shares were bought and sold for approximately $20.66 million. You should take into consideration that falling volume on higher prices causes divergence and may be an early warning about possible changes over the next couple of days. The stock lies in the lower part of a very wide and strong rising trend in the short term, and this may normally pose a very good buying opportunity. If the lower trend floor at $1.43 is broken, it will firstly indicate a slower rate of rising, but may also be an early warning for a trend shift. Given the current short-term trend, the stock is expected to rise 306.44% during the next 3 months and, with a 90% probability, hold a price between $5.79 and $9.41 at the end of this 3-month period. Signals and forecast. A sell signal was issued from a pivot top point on Monday, January 25, 2021, and so far it has fallen -20.00%. Further fall is indicated until a new bottom pivot has been found. Furthermore, there is currently a sell signal from the 3 months moving average convergence divergence (MACD). Some positive signals were issued as well, and these may have some influence on the near short-term development. The Torchlight Energy Resources stock holds a sell signal from the short-term moving average. At the same time, however, there is a buy signal from the long-term average. Since the short-term average is above the long-term average, there is a general buy signal in the stock, giving a positive forecast for the stock. On further gains, the stock will meet resistance from the short-term moving average at approximately $1.68. On a fall, the stock will find some support from the long-term average at approximately $1.25. A breakup through the short-term average will send a buy signal, whereas a breakdown through the long-term average will send a sell signal. Volume fell during the last trading day despite gaining prices. This causes a divergence between volume and price, and it may be an early warning. The stock should be watched closely. Support, risk and stop loss. Torchlight Energy Resources finds support from accumulated volume at $1.57, and this level may hold a buying opportunity as an upwards reaction can be expected when the support is being tested. This stock may move very much during a day, volatility, and with a very large prediction interval from the Bollinger Band, this stock is considered to be very high risk. During the last day, the stock moved 10 cents between high and low, or 6.54%. For the last week, the stock has had a daily average volatility of 10.85%. OUR recommended stop loss: $1.51, -5.40%. This stock has very high daily movements, and this gives very high risk. There is a sell signal from a pivot top found 11 days ago. Is Torchlight Energy Resources stock a buy? Several of the signals indicators are negative, and we believe that this will affect on the development for the next days and maybe possible weeks. However, over time, we think that today's level holds a possible buying opportunity and that the price will be higher during or at the end of this 3-month period. We have upgraded our analysis conclusion for this stock since the last evaluation from a hold accumulate to a buy candidate. Current score: 3.805. Predicted opening price for Torchlight Energy Resources of Wednesday, February 10, 2021. The predicted opening price is based on yesterday's movements between high, low, and the closing price. TRCH is overvalued compared to its price of $1.60 per share, has below average safety, and is currently rated a hold. Recommendation: Rec Hold Rec reflects the cumulative effect of all the VST parameters working together. These parameters are designed to help investors buy safe, undervalued stocks, rising in price. Value at current price: $1.60 current value $0.14. TRCH has a current value of 14 cents per share compared to a price of $1.60 per share. This stock is currently overvalued. Value is computed from forecasted earnings per share, forecasted earnings growth, profitability, interest, and inflation rates. Upside potential, relative value RV very POORRV is an indicator of long-term price appreciation potential. TRCH has an RV of 0.11, which is very poor on a scale of 0.00 to 2.00. This indicator is far superior to a simple comparison of price and value because it is computed from an analysis of projected price appreciation 3 years out, AAA corporate bond rates, and risk. Safety, relative safety RS poors is an indicator of risk. TRCH has an RS of 0.63, which is poor on a scale of 0.00 to 2.00. RS is computed from an analysis of the consistency and predictability of a company's financial performance, debt-to-equity ratio, sales volume, business longevity, price volatility and other factors. Timing, relative timing RTGOODRT analyzes a stock's price trend. TRCH has a relative timing of 1.21, which is good on a scale of 0.00 to 2.00. RT is computed from an analysis of the direction, magnitude, and dynamics of a stock's price movements day over day, week over week, quarter over quarter and year over year. If a trend dissipates, RT will gravitate toward 1.00. Overall rating, value safety timing Vst Rating is the master indicator for ranking every stock in the Vst database. TRCH has a Vst rating of 0.84, which is poor on a scale of 0.00 to 2.00. VST is computed from the square root of a weighted sum of the squares of RV, RS, and RT. Stocks with the highest VST ratings have the best combinations of value, safety and timing. Stop price. 1.12 stop is an indicator of when to sell a position. TRCH has a stop of $1.12 per share. A stock's stop is computed from a 13-week moving average of its closing prices and is fine-tuned according to the stock's fundamentals. CI, Comfort Index FIREC is an indicator which reflects a stock's ability to resist severe and/or lengthy price declines. TRCH has a PSI of 0.93, which is fair on a scale of 0.00 to 2.00. PSI is based solely upon a stock's long-term price history. GRT, earnings growth rate. GRT reflects a company's 1 to 3 year forecasted earnings growth rate in percent per year. TRCH has a forecasted earnings growth rate of -3.00%, which VectorVest considers to be very poor. EPS, earnings per share. Eps stands for leading 12 months earnings per share. TRCH has a forecasted Eps of -7 cents per share. VectorVest determines this forecast from a combination of recent earnings performance and traditional fiscal and/or calendar year earnings forecasts. PE, price to earnings ratio. PE shows the dollars required to buy $1 of earnings. TRCH has a PE of -22.86. The average PE of all the stocks in the VectorVest database is 70.10. A, earnings yield. A reflects earnings per share as a percent of price. TRCH has an A of -4.38%. This is below the current average of 1.43% for all the stocks in the VectorVest database. GPE, growth to PE ratio. TRCH has a GPE rating of -0.13. Dividend. VectorVest reports annual, regular, cash dividends as indicated by the most recent payments. Special distributions, one-time payments, stock dividends, etc., are not generally included in div. TRCH does not pay a dividend. DY, dividend yield. DI reflects dividend per share as a percent of price. TRCH does not pay a dividend, so it does not have a dividend yield rating. DI equals 100x, div price. It is useful to compare DI with A. If DI is not significantly lower than A, the dividend payment may be in jeopardy. DS, dividend safety. DS is an indicator of the assurance that regular cash dividends will be declared and paid at current or at higher rates for the foreseeable future. TRCH does not pay a dividend, so it does not have a dividend safety rating. Stocks with DS values above 75 typically have RS values well above 1.00 and A levels that are much higher than DI. DG, dividend growth rate. Dividend growth is a forecasted annual growth rate of a company's dividend based on historical dividend payments and dividend predictability. It is a subtle yet important indicator of a company's financial performance. It also provides some insight into the board's outlook on the company's ability to increase earnings. TRCH does not pay a dividend, so it does not have a dividend growth rating. YSG vector. YSG is an indicator which combines DI, DS and DG into a single value and allows direct comparison of all dividend-paying stocks in the database. TRCH does not pay a dividend, so it does not have a YSG rating. Stocks with the highest YSG values have the best combinations of dividend yield, safety and growth. These are the stocks to buy for somewhat above current income and long-term growth. AVVOL. AVVOL is the 50-day moving average of daily volume as computed by Vst. TRCH has an AVVOL of 10,760,303 shares traded per day. Percent vol. Percent vol reflects the percent change in today's trading volume as compared to the AVVOL. Percent vol equals volume AVVOL, AVVOL 100. TRCH had a percent vol of 20.01% on Tuesday, February 9, 2021. PRC. TRCH price changed 4.58% from the prior day's closing price. Sales. TRCH has annual sales of 0 sales growth. Sales growth is the sales growth rate in percent over the last 12 months. TRCH has a sales growth of -13.00% per year. This is very poor. Sales per share, SPS. TRCH has annual sales of $0 per share. Price to sales ratio, PS. TRCH has a PS of 527.15. Shares. TRCH has 105 million shares of stock outstanding. Market capitalization. TRCH has a market capitalization of $168 million. Business sector. TRCH has been assigned to the petroleum business sector. Vst classifies stocks into over 200 industry groups and 40 business sectors. Industry group. TRCH has been assigned to the petroleum, US Explore Prod industry group. Vst classifies stocks into over 200 industry groups and 40 business sectors. Market momentum. Extreme greed. S&P 500 is 9.83% above its 125-day average. This is further above the average than has been typical during the last 2 years, and rapid increases like this often indicate extreme greed. Last changed February 3 from a greed rating updated February 9 at 5:02 p.m. Stock price strength. Greed number of stocks hitting 52-week highs exceeds the number hitting lows and is at the upper end of its range, indicating greed. Last changed February 2 from an extreme greed rating updated February 9 at 4:01 p.m. Stock price. Brit Greed McClellan Volume Summation Index measures advancing and declining volume on the New York Stock Exchange. During the last month, approximately 16.26% more of each day's volume has traded in advancing issues than in declining issues, pushing this indicator towards the upper end of its range for the last 2 years. Last changed February 4 from a neutral rating updated February 9 at 4:06 p.m. Put and call options. Greed SmartText not available. Last changed Jan 14 from an extreme greed rating updated Jan 14 at 7 p.m. Junk bond demand. Greed investors in low-quality junk bonds are accepting 2.14 percentage points in additional yield over safer investment-grade corporate bonds. This spread is down from recent levels and indicates that investors are pursuing higher risk strategies. Last changed February 4 from a neutral rating updated February 8 at 7 p.m. Market volatility. Neutral TCBOE volatility index, VIX, is at 21.63. This is a neutral reading and indicates that market risks appear low. Last changed February 1 from an extreme fear rating updated February 8 at 7 p.m. Safe haven demand. Fear stocks have outperformed bonds by 3.01 percentage points during the last 20 trading days. However, this is close to the weakest performance for stocks relative to bonds in the past 2 years and indicates investors are starting to flee risky stocks for the safety of bonds. Last